paranormal. It surrounds us. It's everywhere. Tonight, you will hear from the people who live and work within these highly active locations, all in the efforts to discover America's most haunted. With your host, ghost hunter and author, Dan Terry.
Good evening, boys and ghouls. I am Dan Terry, your ghost host with the most haunted. And this week, well, first, let me say, hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. It's now officially the Christmas season, but hey, for us, folks like my guests here, Halloween never ends. You know what I'm saying? All right, so my guest today out of New York is Al and Lee Serrato. That's a husband and wife paranormal team, but they started out doing more urban exploration. They were inside an old building. They're going to tell us about it and came face to face with the supernatural. And like the rest of us, they were hooked. So now they are a team. They've got a YouTube channel with 1,600 subscribers, and they've got several other ways for you to see their videos and their adventures. So let's bring on Al and Lee and let them tell you their story. Hi, folks.
Hey. Hi, Dan. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Dan,
You guys are just so cheery on this. It's amazing.
I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving.
Oh, I think so. I mean, it was a good year. How was you?
It was very good.
Very good.
All right.
Did a little exploring yesterday,
Yep.
and then had some dinner.
Well, it doesn't happen that every time you explore, you find something supernatural.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. And yesterday was a gem.
Yes.
All right. Well, why don't you tell us how it all started, and then we'll get into what happened yesterday.
Okay.
All
And
right.
Thank you for having us, by the way.
Yes.
Oh, thank you for coming on. I love having ghost hunters. We talk the same language.
Yes.
We definitely do.
Well, about, 2 years ago?
Well, we've been dating for like 5 now already. It seems,
Oh my
I guess it
gosh.
seems like 2 now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we started dating about 4 or 5 years ago.
No, I'm talking about ghost hunting.
Yeah, well, that's how we got into it. We were dating, and our first stop, well, actually, before that, we saw it on Facebook. A Facebook post one of my friends posted about Letchworth Village. So we were like intrigued, and I said, wow, this place looks awesome. So we took a trip there.
Right.
Yes. And we were walking down the basement, which was filled with water. And I'm thinking to myself, what the heck am I doing here? So to keep her happy, we did it. So we're going down there, and I'm just got my phone out, and I filmed for about 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing all these YouTube channels, and I said, you know what? Let me try to put this up to YouTube, and we'll make a name up. And we came up with Seeking Ghosts with A&L.
Right.
And I threw a 4-minute video up, and it took off like crazy.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, these people love what we're doing. I said, we have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So next thing you know, we went out and we bought RIM pods and K2 meters and you name it, music boxes, cat balls, dowsing rods.
But yeah, so but to backstory there, when we were dating, we went there and we were just taking pictures, having fun. And I thought I was like a little bit over. I heard something like fall, or I don't know. Now thinking back, I think something was thrown there because I said, did you throw that at me to scare? He's like, no. So that's how it all like came about.
Yeah.
So then we kept exploring like different places and it just escalated. And then that's where Al said, let's just start the YouTube channel a year ago. 2 years. A year ago.
A year ago.
And you've got 1,600 subscribers already.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
in a year.
That is incredible. That's just amazing.
We've been to Catskills. Everyone knows when we go to the Catskills, Dan, they call us, they say, oh, the Ghostbusters are back.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. So they've been sharing all of our info with everybody popping in. So it's been a great journey so far.
Yeah.
But that's how we mostly got into it as dating, just taking pictures at Letchworth, and we went to an abandoned house. And then we started with a little K2 at first, like Al said, we just had the K2 and our phones, and Al actually films from his phone.
I film from my phone. I don't edit, and I just upload everything right to YouTube.
Okay.
So, I mean, we've watched a lot of YouTube, and, you know, people do exaggerate on things. We try to creep it real.
And just whatever is filmed, like if we can debunk, we debunk,
We
it
debunk
right there. Or
Okay.
let the audience decide, hey, was that a shadow I caught in the ceiling, or was it sunlight or whatever? And we try to show with the camera, and then we try to, like, you know, do some movements, because I had a bunch of people with me. The time we thought we saw a shadow, I said, look, just move behind me since I'm not seeing what's behind me. And I really think we, you know, caught some. I said, let's let the audience decide, because you know, I wasn't sure, but I was hoping to catch it. But so that's what we like to do too. Or if we make a noise ourselves, we're like, oh, that's my stomach.
Doesn't that happen every time?
Every time.
Even if you eat, your stomach growls right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine sitting next to me said, I think I'm sitting by Cujo over here. But it always happens that way. Do you all bring other people with you, or is it just you two?
Mostly my friend, my coworker, who's Little D. She's on our channel a lot. She comes with us. She's into it. When Al and I were dating, she heard me talking about it at work, and she's like, I'd love to come. So she's kind of like our sidekick who we bring. We had Chris Mack and his dad Jim on. We've filmed with
guy
Chris.
I work with.
Chris from Al's job, his wife, his son came, and then we filmed with Chris from 12 Foot Grave. He came with us, and he did some exploring, and now he's into ghost hunting, which is super cool. He was just an explorer, and we got him into the
paranormal now.
Okay.
So he's enjoying that.
So that's we always welcome it.
We encourage people to come with us, you know, because I know everybody has that deep down inside curiosity on what's out there.
Yes.
And I don't care if they sit there and tell you they don't believe in it. Deep down inside, they're wondering what and where we go.
And
isn't it true that the ones who disbelieve the worst are still afraid to walk into that building alone?
Oh, yeah. I mean, go ahead, babe.
And they always ask us, like, are you scared? But I mean, we do get scared sometimes. Yes, but for the most part, it's just so intriguing. Like, when we first caught I always wanted to see doors open and close. We watch a ton of YouTube videos, and when we're at Kings Park, our first time there,
it's an insane asylum.
We set up in the hallway there in Long Island. Sorry, it's in Long Island. Set up the camera, and the phone, the spirit talker said, get out. And then our K2 actually, like, someone pushed it, fell to the floor.
Flew over and boom, onto the floor.
And then we caught the doors opening and closing. And one behind us as well. It was intense.
And the worst part of it all was, after we caught all that on film,
it
was starting to get dark. This building is gigantic with only one way in, one way out. And we could not find the exit. We weren't filming. Panic mode is setting in, and we're going past doors down hallways, and they're just opening in front of us as we're coming.
One swung open, and we're like, well, I don't even think we acknowledged it, because we were so and then after we got out, I'm like, that door opened in front of us. Oh my God.
We weren't even filming, and then it just made the panic mode jump through the roof.
Well, guys, I got to tell you, I've been doing this. I started in 1979, and I've been from Tombstone, Arizona to the Battleship, North Carolina. I've been from Ohio State Reformatory down to Apalachicola, Florida. And I've never had the experience you just described. I've had doors open, but just one, one time, creak open for no reason. That's enough. But you're telling me they were opening multiple doors, like they were trying to keep you moving.
In the video, it was two doors down the hallway, and then I said, I hear footsteps behind us, and once Al turned the camera, the door was opening behind us as well when I heard the footsteps. So we were like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then The fun weekend, we were like, we got so much activity there. We were like, we're going back.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Didn't get anything.
Nope.
Yeah.
But that's how it works. I mean, you know that too, and that's what we put it up.
Absolutely.
We want to show our viewers, like, you know, you don't put your equipment down. You don't, you know, you want it to happen, but the spirits don't always want to communicate. They're upstairs maybe at that time, or you know, they just
and they read our feelings. I believe that if you go there having a bad day, they are looking for positive energy.
Okay.
And that's me. I think they're gonna react. Like if you're pissy and this and that, they're not gonna want to go near you. I think that they just want
or
to.
sometimes I think that they feed off the negativity too, maybe, and they like I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's just I feel that too. It depends what energy you have. That I don't know.
Yeah, and I agree. It takes your energy, but as you said, you might have a spirit who is good and happy in life. He's still the same. You might have a real negative, angry, mean spirit. I've dealt with them.
Yep.
So they're going to react on what they want. You might get one day and one the next. Who knows?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you guys have been doing this for what, a few years now?
About a year and a month.
Okay.
2 months.
Yeah. And then with dating, just exploring, probably a total of 3 years. I would say.
Well, that's amazing. And how many subscribers you got on YouTube just is incredible.
Yeah.
It's really kind of surprising. So you talked about yesterday.
Right.
Can you fill us in a little on what happened?
Well, yesterday we went to this place in Katona, New York. And in the woods there's a mansion. Smack in the middle of the woods. It was built in the early 1900s, late 1800s. So around the area, we saw a bunch of abandoned houses.
Okay.
So we walked through the woods a little bit, and we went into these houses, and we explored them. Not much going on. Didn't really feel much energy in them. You know, the sheetrock was smashed. The windows, walls were taken down. I mean, the kids really just had a field day in there.
And then we put up some devices and,
you know, didn't get nothing. EVPs, nothing.
Didn't really feel anything.
Okay. So we went into this other house, which was down by the lake. By itself, you could tell it was older construction.
It kind of reminded me of something out of a horror film, like one of those, like Michael Myers, like a creepy vibe to it.
Okay. So we had the K2 in the other houses. Nothing was going off. Leah took out the K2 in this house as soon as we got in, and that thing was jumping from green to red. Bonkers.
As I started going up to the bedrooms.
So we went up the steps. I filmed along with her, and I said, let me just set up the REM pod. So I put the REM pod in a room. The REM pod was going crazy. Off the charts. Okay. So we had the REM pod going off, we had the cat balls going off, and the K2 all at once. Hand
just going to red.
And there's no electricity in these houses. There's probably no back walls. Everything's just ripped out of them. So there was some sort of energy there that was just going crazy. The music box I set up, was going nuts. And after about 15, 20 minutes of filming, everything was gone.
Yep.
Just gone.
Wow.
Couldn't get the K2 to shake and go off.
Nope. So it was like something was there and then just
said goodbye.
Disappeared.
So you got roughly 20 minutes of incredible activity followed by we're shutting it down because there's nothing.
Yep. Just shut down.
Wow. That's pretty wild.
Yep.
Well, let's pop up a couple of these photographs you sent me.
Okay.
And you can kind of describe some of these areas. How's this one?
So this one was at Mansfield Training School, which is in Connecticut.
Okay.
And these were some kind of restraints. It was for disabled children.
Disabled children, probably keep them sitting steadily in their chairs so they don't fall over and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
But all this stuff was just left behind, Dan. It was crazy. So
it was loaded with stuff in there.
And this was a mental asylum?
They said on I don't like using the word, but if you look up Mansfield Training School, it says it was a school for like imbecile children. That's what the website says. I don't choose to say that word, but that's what the website says. So I'm gonna say disabled.
Okay.
And that's why, though, you know, they had like that type of equipment.
Yeah, they had a hospital there which was used for nurses in training. They had research centers all over the place where people wanted to do that type of research would go here in Mansfield, Connecticut. And you could look that up and read all about it. But it was a really interesting place. It's actually on the property of the Penn State, not Penn State,
UConn.
UConn, University of Connecticut police actually, protect the area there.
Hello?
Yes.
Did we lose you? Oh.
Yeah, you froze up for a minute there. Probably something going on. One of the ghosts don't like being talked about. What are the other?
That's true.
Okay, well, let's see. We got this one.
That's also that was the hospital in Mansfield training school, like a child gurney that was left behind there. And down the hall from that, there was like,
some lights on.
Oh yeah, maybe it's dark, right?
Yeah.
Now the sun went down a little bit. But yeah, so, and down from that was a dental office. It was just, that was like the creepiest building there that we've been in.
Okay.
In Mansfield, but yeah, that was a child's gurney. Very.
I was recently got to interview the lady who runs the ghost tours and ghost things in the Mansfield mental asylum down in West Virginia.
Oh, wow.
And I wonder why they named them the same like that.
Right?
Yeah.
That's true.
That's
this
weird.
is Mansfield training, training school, in Connecticut. That is something.
They like to use the word, I think that with them it was incurably insane or criminally insane or something, because it shows the mental way people thought of them in that time. They they embrace their history that way.
Right.
Yeah.
And I agree. I don't like the word imbecile for a child. It's not their fault, but that was the word that was used at the time, I guess.
And a lot of times, even back then, I mean, the children with, say, ADHD, they would throw them in here. They didn't know what was wrong with them back then.
So they'd all get just dropped off.
So they just dropped them off and left them. And there was really nothing wrong with them until they started getting all these medications and stuff.
The folks at Mansfield was telling me there were women that were dropped off by their husbands who were just looking for a quickie divorce.
Yeah.
They dump them off there, sign the paper. They were brought in against their will.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? I can't even imagine that.
No, and they took off, never heard from again, but they had these women in there for some years.
Wow.
Yeah, that gives spousal abuse a new name.
Right?
What do we got here?
So that's another type of device, I guess you would call equipment at Mansfield training school. It looked like it has straps on the end of it there. Or I guess a child's, I don't know if they
maybe they couldn't
or
stand right, so they would hook them in that just to stand them up so they're not constantly laying down.
Maybe for like a physical therapy type of thing.
So,
I don't.
Even though it looks bad, that may be
something that helps them.
Okay.
Right.
That's what we're thinking. That was a child's wheelchair also at Mansfield.
Tell me, how did it feel walking through here and seeing this kind of equipment laying around that's been there for what, 30, 40 years or more?
Oh, longer than that. Gosh. It just gives you an eerie feeling.
Right, like what child was put in this, or a
lot of times there's no, it's pitch dark in there. I mean, the illumination you see there is from our lights. So it's really dark, and all of a sudden you come across this, and you're just like, oh my God, how many kids you sat in this chair? Or how many were in this upright position thing here? And it just goes through your mind, and just, you start hearing like noises and creaks, and you're like, okay, are you here? You know, that's the part that keeps us going, trying to get answers and find out who exactly is there and what their actual story is.
Now, when I was running a ghost hunting group out of Missouri, I had some sensitives that I would always call in, one or the other or both. Actually, I had about 4 on call for me. And that was the only way because I am not psychic or sensitive in any way. I can see the lights flash. I can talk to them, but that's the extent. How do you know if you're talking to someone are you sensitive? Can you sense or
Um,
empathically figure out what they're feeling?
Well, we went to this other place. I think it's more of instinct
Okay.
for me, actually, because we went to this other place in toward New York City, and it was a farm colony, and
Okay.
all the buildings are pitch black in there. So Leah and I were going to go into this one building, and I just had this weird, awful feeling before we even went in there. And I said to her, I said, "We're not going in that building. Something is not right in there."
and we
And
went
we didn't go.
to
We went
another
down
building.
to another building, and we went inside that building and caught some evidence and stuff like that. But
Okay.
that one building, for some reason, I mean, I'll go anywhere. It really doesn't bother me. But something told me, do not go into this building. And it was just this feeling that overcame me from the outside, from
Okay.
outside of it, saying, don't go in there.
And I know we do like the SB7 a lot.
Mhm.
The radio frequencies.
Yeah.
We were actually in a child's classroom at Middletown Psychiatric Hospital, and we don't edit like Al said. So when we got home, we totally missed that it said that. I was in a toddler classroom, I believe, or infant, and it said, "I want my mama." Over the
Right over the
SB7 box
SB7.
right away. And then once
Yeah.
we put it
Clear
up on
as day.
YouTube, we were like, oh my God.
And we didn't hear it until we
Until
got
we
put it
got
on YouTube.
home.
Huh.
And you
Guys,
hear it.
I've
want
got
my
to send
mama.
you one on the SB7. We was in a jail cell, and the spirit said the name of the guy running the video camera 5 times in a row.
Wow.
And he got so freaked out, he ran out of the room. He just couldn't take it anymore because it
Oh
kept
my God.
saying his name. I love the SB7 if you're in a good spot. But
Right.
otherwise, you get nothing but interference and
Yeah.
nonsense.
Music from the Nutcracker.
Yeah. Yeah, no
But
kidding.
it's true. I mean, another one we like to use is the
Necrophonics.
Necrophonic app that usually works well for us.
I've heard of it, but I've never used it yet.
Okay, that's a really good one that we like
Okay.
to
Yes.
Okay.
But the
communicate.
SB7 is our go-to
Yeah.
because it's coming over the radio frequencies
Yeah.
through the air, and I think they communicate through that, and it'll help us hear them a lot better.
Okay.
And we have Ghost Tube app, and we do have Spirit Talker, which it's
couple of apps, yep.
It's been right on point most of the time for us, each one, which is crazy. There was one time Donna and I got, Lil D and I got new hats, and the Spirit Talker, as we entered, said "nice hat," and I'm like, how would it know? Like it had, So
Right.
I really think spirits come through on those things, because they would have not known we just got hats, winter hats.
Right.
And then the other time you had your hat on, we were at the cemetery,
Yes.
and she had a jacket on. She looked like an Eskimo, and over the thing it says Eskimo.
Yeah. And that was at Union Cemetery
at
where
Union Cemetery.
where they see the woman in white, and it was winter last year. I was all bundled up, and I said, "If you can see me now, can you?" And it said Eskimo, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I look like one. Like, how does this like what?"
That's amazing.
Pretty crazy, the responses and the it's just been so crazy, the stuff we already picked up, disembodied voices. I didn't hear it that once. Al and Donna were actually coming out of Norwich, out of the basement, and all three of us were together, and I think Donna said first, I heard a female, and then Al said, me too. When we got home and played it on the TV, I ended up hearing it then, and it said it was a female going, hey. It was wild. I said, oh my gosh. And then one time too, a disembodied voice at a janitor's closet, a male, I heard that, and I don't think they heard
No, we didn't
it.
hear it.
And then playing it back at home, we can't really make it out, but it's definitely a disembodied voice behind us saying something at the janitor's closet.
Really loud. It was creepy.
Wow. So you guys are hooked on this now, right?
Oh, definitely.
Love it.
Definitely.
We plan on doing it this whole weekend, but I got overtime tomorrow and Sunday, so I'm taking it.
I understand that. Okay, guys, I'm going to drop you down for just a second. We're going to show a commercial, and then I'll be right back to hear more of these incredible stories.
Thank you.
All right. All right, folks, you're hearing it. It's from New York. Catskills in many cases, Connecticut in some. You've got Voices. You've got two awesome explorers, obviously. And what can you say? These are the kind of ghost hunters I like to run with. This is the great part. So if you all will just sit back for a minute and check this out, and we will be back in just a moment to tell you more about what these folks have been going. All right, my friends, as you can see, there's so much going on here on the UNX network. And we just got back 3 weeks ago or so. I spent Halloween down in Springfield, Missouri, lecturing there and having a big time at the annual Into the Rabbit Hole XCon conference. And you guys need to plan on being there next year because this is only going to grow. And it's grown a lot in the last 2 years. But I do want to remind you how to get on to become a member of this. It's free. You just jump on the unxnetwork.com, drop down a little bit, leave your email address, and you automatically get into the emails. You get a copy of our monthly magazine emailed to you digitally every month. A lot of good writers, and we'll talk more about all that in a little bit, but be thinking about that. Well, let's get back and talk to Al and Lee because their stories has been a lot of fun so far. All right, guys.
Hi.
All right.
Welcome back, everybody.
All right. Well, let's see here real quick. I don't remember. I think we were at this one.
Ooh.
Oh, that was at Norwich State Hospital in Connecticut.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's
I can't even see it.
that's the bed over there.
Yep.
Left behind. Norwich State Hospital. I'm trying to think when it opened and closed, but I can't offhand.
Most of these buildings that we went in are early 1900s.
Okay.
Late 1800s. They completed their construction and opened up. They opened up small, most of them, and then they had to add on.
Sure.
As demand with everything got greater. So you have kind of new sections of buildings and you have the older sections of buildings. And
it's like that on all of them. Yeah.
Right. And a lot of the buildings have all the stuff still inside, restraints,
cool.
beds, chairs.
I think there was an old rusty IV pole that we found there too.
Yep.
It's on our Facebook page.
What's
all left behind.
Yeah.
How the dopers haven't stolen that by now? I don't know.
Oh, that's a building at Norwich also where we caught a lot of activity down there. And then this was weird, Dan, because actually my name is in there, right?
Where'd Dan go?
Dan, where'd you go?
Sorry, I was just bringing you all up to tell the story. Go ahead.
I actually took a picture of it. I didn't notice it. Right down from there, it says Leah, come back, which is really weird.
Like, Dan, come back.
Okay, I'll stop doing that. I just like to get you up there to tell the story because this is your stuff. I mean, and it's amazing. Let's see.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool that I didn't even notice it. And I was like, look.
Yeah, there's the building. That building
that is so
cool. And there's about 7 buildings on site. 5 of them bigger than that one.
Okay.
And behind it are houses, regular houses, raised ranches,
That the
where the
nurses
doctors and nurses used to occupy.
And are those still being
Yes, they're
used?
still there.
They're still there. Yep.
And this is probably a mile from the casino.
Yep. From
Okay.
Mohegan
From
Sun.
Mohegan Sun. So,
Those other houses you were talking about, is there people still living in them?
no, they're
no.
all dilapidated.
Yeah, the floors, some of the floors are pretty much, gone. You gotta watch your step, but they're still there.
They're still there. You can walk in them, but you have to be on your toes.
Oh, I just love those old Gothic buildings like that. They're
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so
walking in
beautiful.
somewhere special.
Yep, this building here, we had to go in through the basement
Okay.
Yeah.
because it was really high up to get into where you're supposed to get in.
Yeah, the
Okay.
steps were
So
gone.
you had to go into the basement, and there was a lot of, history there saying that there is, a couple of spirits there. One is very angry
Uh-huh.
and does not like you in that building.
Yep, and we were there. Actually, 2 girls came in, I think, after us, like young girls.
Yeah.
And one of the grandparents used to work there. So
Okay.
we were talking to them a little bit, and they kind of went off on their own. And then they came out, and I think we were still setting up at that point. And we all heard this like really loud bang, and we're all like, "Was that you? Was that you?" And we're like, "No, we're all standing here."
They actually ran around to us for like safety. Like,
Yeah.
was that you guys?
So,
And
and
we're
to
like,
this day,
no.
we don't know what it was. There was only
Yep.
us 2, and them 2, and they were young girls. So it was bizarre. To this day, we don't know what the bang was. Nothing.
No,
Wow.
we walked around, didn't see anything wrong. It was really, really creepy.
And this was a cemetery that it's if you it's on our Facebook. I caught a foot. It looks like a foot to me running away, with like an old style like handcuff on from the olden days.
Okay.
And that's a photo I took. I was just going through them, and I said, "What is that?" When I blew it up, I said, "Oh my gosh, it looks like a foot. We're either kneeling or running."
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's pretty cool. And where was this one at?
That was what cemetery was
that was
that?
by the mansion in Somers where we just were yesterday.
What's the name of it? Silver.
No, oh my gosh, we've been to so many places, Dan.
That's all right.
I know
I
it's
understand.
on my Facebook page. I can't
Okay.
think of it in Katona or Somers.
It's in Katona, New York. It's a really old cemetery.
Okay.
And it's
some of the
linked
grave
to that
sites.
mansion
Yeah, it's linked to the
and the
mansion.
houses where we went yesterday.
You all mentioned the Union Cemetery.
Yes.
And if I remember right, that was written up in the book by Ed and Lorraine Warren about haunted cemeteries.
Yes.
Yep, which we did actually go to their
We
cemetery
went
as
to
well.
see them as well.
Okay.
And
Tell me there was
Union
no
Cemetery.
action there.
We went at night. We got a little bit.
A little bit, not much at all.
Not much.
Okay. I would like to think they're resting peacefully.
Yes.
Yes.
We just wanted to see if they wanted to communicate, and then we let them rest in peace. If they didn't want to communicate with us, we always respect that.
And a lot of people do go there, so they're probably just
so
like,
they're probably like, all right, overwhelmed.
Not today. Yeah.
yeah.
But the Union Cemetery, they had a lot of stories from that. Did you have anything there?
No, just that's
Really?
where the spirit talker said Eskimo when I asked if it could hear me. But no, I took a bunch of pictures. I was hoping to see the woman in white, but no.
Okay.
We really didn't get much activity. I want to go back there though.
It's hard there doing EVPs or anything because you have the main road.
It's like right there.
It's like
boxed
boxed in. So you have a road going this way, a road going this way, and a road coming up this way of the cemetery. So it's constant traffic.
But Guntown also, have you heard of Guntown Cemetery? That's right down the road from each of those two.
I have not.
And that is supposedly, they see a little boy roaming the back
and
of
they
the
hear
rock wall.
And they hear laughter.
Children laughing and stuff like that there.
Yep. So we've been there a couple of times, but really, really nothing.
Yeah.
Either.
Okay. And where was this one at?
This is at the Children's Hospital at Letchworth. It was actually called by the nursing staff there as stores.
Yes.
And what it was it was a hospital for Letchworth Insane Asylum.
Okay.
And it was also a hospital for the town of Fields.
Okay.
So regular people, residents could come in there if they needed to, but it was mainly used for Letchworth.
And they left this equipment there when
Oh,
they left
yeah.
the place?
There's quite a few things.
There's a few things left in there.
That looks like an amazingly expensive piece of equipment.
Right, and it's not even that beat up or anything.
No,
like no
not at
debris.
all.
It's not broken.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting that that's left like that because it looks new practically. That is
Also the same building.
Yeah,
Okay.
an infant crib.
And what I like about this picture is you have the moss growing in there
Yeah.
underneath, how nature takes back what's theirs.
Mm-hmm.
When you
And
get an EVP of a child's voice, for me, that just tears my heart out. It really bothers me. You all
Yeah.
too?
Yes, absolutely. It
It's just really, I work with kids too, so it really like hits home for me too, because thinking of children in here where they did the first tuberculosis test, they did lobotomies here, they just did so much testing on these children here that were just left by their families because they had disabilities, and they were just kind of left here and forgotten about, which is so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
We did a thing on Letchworth where we met this lady who was a nurse there, and we went to the cemetery. There's a Letchworth cemetery.
That's like a mile down the road.
A mile down the road where all the kids were buried that passed away there, and they have no names on their grave sites.
Just numbers.
It's just a metal cross with a number on it.
Yeah.
And finally, they added a big monument in front and listed all the names. But if you walk through some of the grave sites, you will see one child was 3 months old.
3 months old, Dan.
And I spoke to the woman about it who worked there, was a nurse. And I was like, how is there a 3-month-old here? And she says a lot of the doctors, most of them were having sex with the patients.
Oh.
That like, one of the disabled patients?
One of the disabled patients actually had the baby inside her diaper.
Oh,
and they did not know about it. Yeah.
It just like
so just
heartbreaking. So just to hear these stories and then be in
and
this
the
building.
history being in there, and now you have all this, going through your head. It's like, are you kidding me?
And she was admin there. She worked in one of the admin buildings. She wasn't a nurse or anything, but she was telling us this.
Yeah, that's. I can't even describe the feelings of that. It's
not at all.
Is not even beginning to get it.
No. And that's the gurney in the children's hospital.
That's the gurney there in the children's hospital where they were wheeled around.
Now this one I didn't have the opportunity to bring it up, but there's a face sticking out the window, second one from the bottom on my right.
Yes.
From the top.
From the well, if he's looking at it, it's to the
there's a bottom right. And then the next one up on the right, my right side as I'm looking at it.
Yep, there's a face in there. And that I took that was at Fairfield Hills Hospital, and I took a bunch, and
that's the only one where we got something. We took them in threes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I said, "Oh my gosh, wow!" And it looks like it's like screaming. I don't know, but we were in there, and we felt like we were being watched. That's why I was like, let me take some pictures of the window." And then when that came up, I said, "I'm sure we were being watched after seeing that photograph." But
all right, folks, we got one more, and this one here to me is really amazing.
Oh, this one.
This one was actually taken at Peter Pratt's Inn. It's an active restaurant in Yorktown. It's open. He does catering, and they had some paranormal. He is a new owner about a year and a half, and he did not hear or see anything, but he had stories, so he let us do an investigation. This photo was actually taken from our YouTube channel from somebody in Puerto Rico, Dan, that watches our channel, and
found this. We didn't know about it
for us and sent it to me because he said he tried to debunk it and couldn't. So the first picture there is the one he took just from his screen. And then he broke it down in the second picture. And then the third picture, he also broke it down and circled it for us.
And that behind Leah there is a stone fireplace. And the history behind Peter Pratt's is it's been there since the Revolutionary War.
Uh-huh.
And
George
the bottom,
Washington.
George Washington was there. Duncan Hines stayed there. A couple of other people who, McCormick for spices.
Yeah.
They stayed there.
And it actually started out as a stable back in the Revolutionary War. The bottom part where we were filming is where the restaurant is.
Did you say this was in Yorktown?
Yes.
Yorktown Heights, New York.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Yorktown, the last battle, and I think it's in Virginia. Okay.
No, sorry. Yes.
But there was a lot of Yorktown Heights, New York. There was a lot of Revolutionary War stuff that happened there.
Okay.
And that to us looked like a Revolutionary War soldier standing there.
I got to be honest. I still kind of see a woman in that.
Oh, you see a woman? Well, I see Leah, and then behind Leah,
it looks like
like a beard, a mustache, long hair, and it looks like the white coats that they used to wear underneath their regular coats.
Okay, yeah, I was kind of seeing it as a shadow and a long-haired woman, but I see what you're saying. Yeah,
back then, I'm sure they had long hair.
Yeah,
Good
it
point.
was just wild to see because we
not like us.
No kidding. See, we go to the same barber. Gotta stop.
Yeah, that was pretty wild that he actually, broke it down because we missed so much stuff sometimes because we don't edit. We just put it right up. So, and actually our viewers break stuff down for us like, oh, this happened at 2023. So we rewind that. We're like, oh my gosh, so it's really cool that they look out for us and help us since we aren't technology oriented.
We're watching it the first time everyone else sees it.
Well, that is
Leah's
pretty
like,
incredible.
It's up. Let's go watch it.
What places are you wanting to hit that you haven't been able to get to yet?
I want to go to Gettysburg.
Well, yeah, I think that's on everyone's bucket list, including mine.
Yeah, I want to go to Gettysburg. We did go to
the Conjuring
House.
We went with
just had some friends there. Yeah,
where something did happen to me there.
Oh, please, gotta lay it on us.
We actually deleted the footage.
I deleted the footage. I didn't want to put it out. But what happened was they were doing an Estes method in the middle of the floor. So I asked if permission to film it. So he said, of course. I said, I'll put it on my YouTube channel. So we were filming the Estes method.
I was on the couch, so I wasn't by Al. I was on the couch. He was over at the other side filming. It was like 1 a.m, Dan, so I was exhausted. I was just kind of sitting there, so I'll let Al.
So what happened was, after reviewing the video footage of what happened to me, I picked up the camera, don't remember this, walked down the hallway, opened the basement door, still recording, went down into the basement, all the way down to one room where the well is.
That you said was calling to
you.
It
was. I kept seeing this when I did the Estes method before, and I kept seeing that room. And I was telling him that I keep seeing that room. I keep seeing that room. But I don't remember getting up. I don't remember picking the camera up. Don't remember going down the steps. Don't remember going down the hallway. Putting the camera down. Went over into a chair by the well, and just boom, out.
But I just want to say, so I didn't know he was even, I thought, I'm saying to myself, I don't see him, but Al's a talker. We were with a bunch of people from Get Haunted. So I said, maybe he's, somewhere, in the bathroom, getting a snack back there, getting coffee, right? Didn't think anything of it. A few minutes later, Rob from Get Haunted comes up and he goes, Leah, I just found Al in the basement. And I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, he's okay, but Sarah's down there with him. I said, oh my God. He goes, I found him sleeping. But it was weird. He said his mouth was going, but nothing was.
Yeah, my mouth was talking,
but nothing was coming out. And they couldn't wake him for a little bit. So I started getting up to go. He's like, no, he's coming now. So Al comes to me and he had his phone and everything, carrying it up in the whole tripod still. So as he's saying like what happened, I'm like, we're all like it was like 12 of us are all around. I'm trying to get the film to come up on his camera, and what I saw, that's why we deleted it. He actually sets the camera up, and he's walking, but he's walking like not even like Al, like kind of just like stumbling a little bit, goes in the corner, puts his hood up, and just kind of slumps and doesn't move. We couldn't see his mouth moving. But it looked like he had no face, kind of, when we tried blowing it up. So we and everyone there's like, you're gonna get a ton of subscribers for this, and then we were like, I made the
decision not to put it up.
Yeah, it was like disturbing to see. It was
really,
You know, honestly, it sounds a lot like some of those movies where they set the video camera up, and over the course of the night, one gets up and stares for hours or whatever.
Yes,
that's
And even
I don't remember it, Dan, at all.
No, and Rob said he never saw anything like it, trying to wake Al up after.
Yeah, because on the video, Rob turns around and looks at
the camera.
Goes, I don't know what to do.
He goes, I don't know what to do, and then he goes back, and then all of a sudden, I think I heard him talking to Sarah. And then he just walks to the camera and I don't know, shuts it off. But then when we were all watching it was a whole group of us just watching it. And
I was
like,
outside getting air.
Yeah, we got him water and everything else.
But I don't remember it.
It was very disturbing. So we decided, you know what, we don't want subscribers for that reason, or it was just disturbing. So we got rid of it. We don't even have it anymore.
That is definitely disturbing to think that. Frankly, it sounds like you were possessed for a short time.
Yeah. And then another guy who was there upstairs actually started fights with other people.
Yeah,
he was the nicest guy in the world.
Just got angry.
He just got angry, wanted to slap his son in the mouth for talking, all this stuff. He just was going crazy, the guy.
He heard them laughing and having fun, and he said he just got like such an angry moment. We were downstairs filming. Yeah. Didn't know any of this was going on until one of the guys came up and said, we want to regroup and get everyone together.
So me and another guy were actually affected that night. Okay.
And where was this at again?
The Conjuring House.
Oh, God. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's stunning. It was
incredible. It was definitely a night to never forget.
I'll never forget that.
Because usually we go into places and we, say a prayer at the end. I have holy water. We take all sage. We take all precautions and say you cannot come home with us. You cannot attach yourself. But we weren't even to that point where we were going to leave yet. And like I said, I would have went after him. I didn't know. It was 1 a.m. and I was just,
no one even knew I was gone, I guess.
No one knew. But I'm so glad. I said, thank God for Rob and Sarah. And I said, did you sense someone was down there? He said, no, I wanted to show Sarah the basement or whatever. We didn't know he, was even down there. So I'm like, who is that? They even said on camera, who is that? And then you hear Rob going, I think that's Al. So it was just the creepiest footage I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Al, I'm going to go on a limb here and say, I think you got some sensitivity in you because you got to have something for them to be able to take over in a short time.
Dan, I don't remember it at all.
No, he said he doesn't remember going down.
I remember
there.
Filming, but after that, I don't remember. It was like they just took over, shut down my mind, everything, all my senses, and I was down in the basement.
Okay.
And then when I came through, Rob's like, do you know where you are? I'm like,
he was asking
I was stunned. It was like I was drunk. I'm like, I was like, yeah. I didn't know exactly what was going on. It was like foggy to me, but I knew, this is where I am.
Well, with that thought in mind, what advice would you give to someone who's going to the Conjuring House or any place equally haunted? What kind of advice would you give after you had an experience like that?
I would tell them it's real what you hear about spirits and everything else. And if you're feeling like you're getting overwhelmed, go outside and get air.
And probably make sure someone's always with you.
Rethink it. Make sure you're not by yourself. And, don't take it for granted of what can happen to you.
I keep replaying that. And I'm like, why didn't I get up? Why didn't I go? Because I said it seems to me like, oh, where is
And
he?
for me to go downstairs in that room where the well was
Mhm.
By himself.
by
too.
myself and down there for 15 minutes.
Yeah, was filming for a good 15, and he was just
And I was just
sitting
out.
there.
But I remember just, I don't even remember it. I can't say if I was comfortable, anything. I was
But
just
yeah,
there.
I would definitely say just make sure you check on. Don't let anyone go alone. Make sure you always
Have someone with you.
someone with you, or keep
Okay.
an eye. If they want to go do a one-on-one, just periodically just check on them.
Yeah, give them a time limit.
Because I know when we first started too, they said a couple of their guests in the previous weeks actually passed out
Yeah.
and almost hit the couch there and stuff.
Mhm.
So it's crazy energy there. So yeah, I mean it's a great place. You know, I would definitely go back, but I would say yeah, just make sure you're with the person and check, because that was an awesome house and experience.
Yeah.
Well, from what
Except for you.
what you're describing, you were right there in the room. This group of people's there in the room. This fair-sized man with a tripod was able to get up and walk away, and nobody noticed.
No one
No.
noticed, Dan, that I was
No.
gone. And
And
there was 15 people there.
as you
Yeah.
are aware, when you're on a ghost hunt, your senses are really heightened. You hear every creak, every
Right.
yeah.
mouse,
He's
yeah,
right.
every
Yeah.
time the wind blows.
Yeah.
Did you see me leave?
No, I didn't even see you go in the kitchen. I was just thinking, oh, maybe he's in the back room where there's snacks. The bathroom was back there. So I'm just thinking, or you're talking to somebody.
And I was filming for probably 45 minutes, Dan, the session, the
Estes,
Estes
yeah.
session.
Um,
And no one came looking for me.
No, not
Again,
even your wife.
no one noticed. Would you, and I'm going to say it is because it sounds like it to me, would you consider that a demonic instance of them moving you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
That's
taking you away
absolutely,
from
I
like the
would.
group and stuff, probably, yeah.
that is the legend.
I mean, for these people sitting in a circle, people on the couch, people standing beside me,
Yeah, there was people beside
me
you
picking up the camera
Right.
while the Estes is still going on,
and just walking away.
down the hallway where they could still see me, going downstairs, down the hallway to underneath them again,
Mm-hmm.
but in the basement. And no one knew I was missing for 15 minutes.
There's something else at
Yeah,
work here.
it was-
And they only found me because they were showing each other the basement.
Okay.
And that's how they found me.
Well, on that note, I think we're going to stop because I don't think you could top that story. Maybe you can, but if so, we'll do it on another show.
No, definitely not.
Lee
Yes.
and Al Serrato, and you are with Seeking
Yes.
Ghosts with A&L, and it's on YouTube, it's
Yep.
on TikTok, it's on Instagram, Facebook,
Instagram,
all under
yep.
the same name. Guys, I want to thank you
Yes.
again for coming on to the show, and hope
Thank
you'll
you for
come back.
having us.
If you get some good,
Dan, definitely.
you let me know if you get some great evidence. We'll get you back here because
All right.
I like what I've seen. All right.
Dan,
Thank
thank you
you,
very
Dan.
much. Thank you
Oh.
for having us.
Thank you for
And
Thank
all
you,
having
your
us.
guys.
viewers. Ciao from
Happy
Seeking Ghosts.
holidays.
Happy holidays. Bye-bye.
Merry
Dan.
Christmas,
Bye.
folks. Well, I was doing great up to that last story, but now I just not exactly sure what to say about that. So you heard it. You make up your own mind, but I can certainly see something like that occurring, and I have no reason not to believe these folks because they sound pretty earnest. My friends, I do want to remind you once again to join up with the UNX Network. Go to unxnetwork.com, front page. Just come down just a little bit, and you'll see the thing to enter. It's all free. You get access to the blog monthly. You get access to the emails, newsletter, and also every month you will get our magazine, which is the UNX magazine. And we got some outstanding writers. The one you see there, it's dark. I had a story in there about the haunted battleship North Carolina. And I also had which usually I don't get to, but I had a small article in there on Halloween and the truth. You guys will remember the stories of witches going to kidnap virgins and stuff like that. Yeah, well, I found the basis of most of those old legends and stories and brought them up. The other one has time travel. The late Lee Spiegel had a beautiful article in there. And there's more. Every month we have articles. So, oh, and don't forget, you get a special deal to the UNX conference every year, which will be held in Springfield, Missouri next year, just the same. I believe the second weekend of October. We had a great time this year, had so many new friends we've met, and it's all people who agree with you, believe what you believe. So join up to the UNX network. Again, it's free. There is a one you can pay for to get even more, but check it out. At least try the free one for a while and see if you like that. Other than that, I think it's time for me to step on out of here. So, folks, Christmas is coming. I do want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, but you'll hear me say that more and more. Again, for folks like Lee and Al and me, Halloween's never over. It's still a ghost hunt. And for you, y'all stay spooked, okay? Good night.